All right, let's get this show started!
One of the great UFC rivalries officially ended on Saturday night. Ben Askren and Jorge Masvidal shared a bitter feud ahead of their fight at UFC 239 in July 2019. Gamebred famously won with a 5-second flying knee KO, a finish that still stands as the fastest KO in UFC history. Now, 7 years later, Askren welcomed his former rival into his home to sit down and break bread. He shared the following photo with the caption, "Well, I suppose I learned last summer that life is short. Definitely too short for holding grudges." So when Jorge Masvidal said he wanted to sit down and break bread, of course I took him up on it. Today, he came to Wisconsin, sat down, had some dinner, and chatted it up. Turns out we have more in common than different. Felt great to bury the hatchet and make a new friend. Life is too short to hold grudges, bury hatchets, and move on with your life. So glad Jorge was able to come to Wisconsin today. Former Bellator bantamweight champion Patchy suffered a rough setback on Saturday at RIZIN 52 in Tokyo, getting stopped in the second round by Japanese prospect Kiyoma Akimoto. Akimoto overwhelmed Mix with punches before finishing the fight with ground strikes and soccer kicks just 37 seconds into round 2, handing Mix another tough loss in what was supposed to be his fresh start at featherweight. For Mix, it's a worrying moment in his career. Not long ago, he was considered one of the best bantamweights outside the UFC and the final Bellator champion, but since leaving Bellator, his momentum has collapsed. He went 0-2 in the UFC before being released earlier this year, and now his return in RIZIN was meant to reset things. Instead, the defeat means Mix is now on a losing streak and facing real questions about where he fits in the global MMA landscape. Eddie Hearn was left stunned after learning how much Tom Aspinall earns competing in the UFC. In a recent vlog posted on Aspinall's YouTube channel, the UFC heavyweight champion revealed a conversation with his new promoter. Hearn said he was so surprised by Aspinall's reported UFC pay that he nearly fell off his chair, adding that Aspinall could be earning 10 times more if he were fighting in boxing.
When I talked through Tom Aspinall's purses, I nearly fell off the f***ing chair. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that if that was our business, he'd be making 10 times as much money. His return is going to be massive when it comes. And as an organisation, they need him. Forget he needs the UFC. He actually don't need the UFC now. But they need him because they need heavyweight stars on stars full stop. And he's a young man that goes in there and entertains.
Cody Garbrand't has returned to the win column in the weirdest way imaginable. Garbrandt was en route to losing a decision before multiple low blows by Long resulted in 2-point deductions. The final score read 28-27, 28-27, 28-27 in favor of Garbrand't. The victory didn't come without adversity, however. One of the later low blows hit so hard that Garbrandt started vomiting into a bucket before the fight continued. UFC CEO Dana White announced Ilia Topuria vs Justin Gaethje as the headliner along with the rest of the card on Saturday during the UFC 326 broadcast. In the co-main event, Alex Pereira officially moves to heavyweight to challenge Cyril Gane for an interim title with reigning champion Tom Aspinall still recovering from double eye surgery. In bantamweight action, former champion Sean O'Malley will take on Aman Zahabi. Also announced for the card, a lightweight bout between Mauricio Rufy and Michael Chandler. A middleweight matchup featuring Bo Nickel vs Kyle Dawkins, a featherweight clash between Diego Lopes and Steve Garcia. Several fighters quickly reacted to the announcements. Justin Gaethje was sitting at the broadcast desk when the UFC White House event was revealed and acted surprised by the news.
It's now official. You're headlining with Ilia Topuria for Undisputed. Congratulations. That is huge. You didn't reveal the news when you came and sat with us earlier. We won't take offense, but...
No, I didn't know. I wasn't sure.
No,
you didn't know. I was not sure.
Hold on, you're saying when you made the announcement, that was a surprise to you.
That was 100% confirmation that I was the main event. I didn't know that. I didn't know who the co-main event, or if I was the co-main event, or who the other fight was. at the time.
I should have known something was up when they came in my ear. They said, ask Justin 2 questions. Don't talk about what's next for him. Don't talk about the next fight. Don't talk about the White House. I should have saw it coming.
Meanwhile, O'Malley said he secured his spot on the card by repeatedly begging the UFC to let him fight at the White House.
I'm fighting GSP at the White House. I just kidding, I tricked you guys. The fight name is a hobby. I told UFC I would love to fight at the White House. I will fight anybody at the White House. I will fight Ilya. I will fight Islam. I will fight Habib. No, but for real, I said I want to fight on the White House card. Please let me fight on the White House card. I don't care who it is. I want to be on there. I want the opportunity to, I fought at the Sphere, which is really cool. The White House, I think there's 6 fights on the White House card. There's me plus 11 other people that get to make the walk from the Oval Office. That's what they're saying. You walk from the Oval Office into the White House lawn. Crazy how secret this card has been. I knew about this literally only like a week ago. I don't know who the main event is. The fight's gonna be outside. Our family's gonna be able to come. Like they're saying how many millions of dollars they're spending on security alone. We're gonna go out there and beat the fuck out of this guy. I go out there and win this fight, I'm next in line for a title. I actually wanted to fight. I really was like, yo, let me fight Peter at the White House. They didn't say that. They said, nah, man. I was like, all right, bet.
Diego Lopes also shared his reaction, expressing gratitude for the opportunity to compete on the historic event.
Oh, so I feel amazing. This is a great opportunity for me. I worked so hard for staying the big cards in UFC. Now UFC sending me the chance to fight the White House. Yeah, this is a great opportunity for my career, for the future. I tell for my family, my brothers, my friends. Like yeah, when I stay in UFC, I fight in the great cards.
Not everyone was impressed with the matchups, however. Arman Tsarukyan criticized the main event, calling the booking of Topuria versus Gaethje a waste of time.
Ilya versus Gaethje is a good fight, but like no chance to Gaethje. Ilya has a better boxing, and I think he's gonna knock him out. They just waste time, waste my time. They gotta put me versus Ilya, and I'll take his belt, and easy money for me.
Many fight fans expressed disappointment with some of the matchups on the card, as well as the absence of major stars like Conor McGregor and Jon Jones. One fan wrote, "I'm disappointed, honestly. It's a good card, but man, is it a disappointment for what they were hyping up. Bo Nickel sneaking his way into these huge cards." Another fan commented, "This is ass, only 2 great fights. That shit is so bad. Why does Cyril Gane get rewarded for being a dirty cheat? Super dog shit card. Dana White once again overpromising but failing to deliver the goods as usual." The rematch between Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway didn't live up to the hype. Finally meeting again over 10 years since they first clashed, Oliveira put on a dominant grappling performance to cleanly beat Holloway on the scorecards in Saturday's UFC 326 main event. Unfortunately for fans expecting an all-time BMF championship classic, Holloway had no answers for Oliveira's legendary jiu-jitsu game, and the majority of the contest saw Oliveira punishing Max on the ground. Many, including Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor, didn't hold up criticizing the fight. McGregor wrote, "DC on Max on top, he should stall, lol. He should have elbowed all the open targets. Payback. Stall, lol. F*** off. Shockingly bad fight. I am shocked. Charles is a little Charlie. Ha 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 ha. Very bad, Charles, very bad. Hang your head bad. Good luck. Don't crown that belt." Nate Diaz said, "Boring. These guys are all dorks fighting for my belt. You're welcome." Hamza Chimaev tweeted, "This was a crazy highlight fight." Derek Brunson commented, "GMF Championship. G is for grappling." Billy Quarantillo said, "Hate to say it, but this isn't what the BMF is about." Luke Rockhold tweeted, "I thought this was BMF belt." Louis Smolka said, "Everybody get on UFC. This shit will not stand." Speaking at the post-fight press conference, Oliveira fired back, saying he's down to fight both Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz on the same night.
A luta contra o Conor, já falei que eu fazeria essa luta, podia ser de 70 ou 83, não importa, porque conseguiria dar muito dinheiro, ou pode fazer um GP, coloca os dois no mesmo dia e vamos ver o que dá.
I said, listen, I want the title. I want that lightweight belt. I've said this all along. Let's wait for the fight at White House, and that's what I want to do. But you want to put him 170? You want to put him up there? I don't care. If you want to put him a middleweight, we do it. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you what. If you want it, make it a Grand Prix. Just put up 2 fights same day, see what happens.
Dana White, as usual, appeared at the post-fight press conference where he addressed several notable topics. Starting with the main event, White reacted to Charles Oliveira's dominant performance against Max Holloway. He admitted he was surprised by how easily Holloway was taken down during the fight.
I don't know if anybody was expecting that. I mean, the way he body locked him and took him down so easily and absolutely dominated him on the ground. I thought there'd be a lot more stand up, and I thought that Max would do a better job at defending the takedown. And if he got on the ground, he'd at least pop up a couple, 3 times during the round, but total domination. Yeah. Well, I think you'll have those type of guys, but the goal at the end of the day in every fight is to win. So he did exactly what he needed to do to win. And I think probably, you have to ask Max, but in training camp, they're probably expecting, if you've seen Charles fight, he's not afraid to go toe-to-toe, stand up, and, they obviously really believed that if they took him down to the ground, tonight would happen.
Yeah. The conversation then shifted to Jon Jones and why he won't be fighting on the upcoming UFC White House card. White said Jones was never seriously considered for the event and suggested that the former champion is essentially retired, adding that he does not expect him to compete in the UFC again.
Was Jones ever, which I told you guys 100,000 times, was Jon Jones even remotely in my mind to fight at the White House? I wouldn't. I've told you why he wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. Some guy with meta glasses on filmed him talking about his hips, that his hips are so bad. And I don't know if you guys saw that flag football game where he can barely run. He's got arthritis in his hips. Doctors say he should have hip replacement. Add that on top of all the other reasons that I wouldn't. The Jon Jones thing is bullshit. I'm not saying they weren't talking to Jon Jones and that Jon Jones wasn't interested in the fight. And what was even crazier is Jon Jones came out and was like, I'm in negotiations right now for the White House fight, after I had already sent a text to his lawyer saying, never gonna happen ever.
Is it fair to say then Jon Jones is retired and this is the end of his time?
Yes, very fair.
Shortly after, Jones took to X to voice his frustration, writing, "So all of this negotiating was complete bullshit? Is that what you want me to agree to publicly? Make this make sense. I'm released from the UFC?" White also provided an update on Conor McGregor's potential return, saying the promotion is not even close to booking his next fight.
Conor McGregor obviously tweeting a lot today. Wasn't very impressed with the fight. Says, if they want, I'll spank Charlie. Obviously about Charles Oliveira. Is there any update on Conor McGregor?
No, but we are definitely talking to Conor, obviously.
But there's no timetable. You just okay.
Not even close. We have no date for Conor right now. Not even close. So
Dana further revealed that he remains unhappy with Arman Tsarukyan following the brawl with Jorge Polis at Real American Freestyle 06.
I'm not thrilled with Arman right now. And there's a lot of different reasons. It's not just the stuff that you see publicly. But yeah.
Care to elaborate on any of those reasons?
No.
Obviously, Charles just won the BMF title. Justin and Ilya are fighting at the White House. There's that one guy in the division, Arman Tsarukyan. He had an interesting weekend in Tempe last weekend. What did you make of that when you saw those antics, and where does he stand in the division?
Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love it. But, that night, that was somebody else's problem, not mine. But, yeah, that's really all I got to say about that. But, the division's heating up and lots of fun fights to make, and we'll get Arman figured out.
I know you spoke about Arman just now, but he was in talks with Hunter Campbell about potential fights with Gaethje, Volk, and the winner of this fight, which ended up being Oliveira. I wanted to know what you think makes the most sense for him.
What's the question again?
For Arman, I know Arman said that he spoke to Hunter.
Yeah, got it. I don't know.
Ariel Helwani provided additional insight into the Jones situation, reporting that the negotiations between Jones and the UFC for the White House card ultimately broke down over money.
I'll tell you this, they did seriously try to have Jon Jones on this card, and they couldn't get to the number. Now, a lot of people are talking about this fight that fell through. I don't think that that's the fight that fell through last night. That's not what I was told.
Here are the top 3 memes found on the internet. Number 3 meme was posted by Undisputed Take. Number 2 meme was posted by Far Cry X1Z. And number 1 meme was posted by Lucky Lack. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with the latest MMA news.